Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Bruce Breslow joins us. He's the founder and CEO of Nevada Strategies, here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Meantime, here in Nevada, we appear to have one of the highest inflation rates in the country.
Soaring prices for gas, food, housing, and construction supplies continue to hammer Nevadans.
Senator Catherine Cortez Masto was the deciding vote for President Biden's multi-trillion-dollar spending spree, sending inflation through the roof and raising gas and grocery prices over 8% on hardworking Nevadans. Tell Senator Cortez Masto to stop voting for reckless spending and start fighting inflation.
This 4th of July weekend, join the Nevada State Railroad Museum, Carson City, for the Great Western Steam Up, a celebration of the Virginia and Truckee Railroad's 150th birthday. Festivities include a narrated pageant of steam locomotion, train rides, food and libations, live music, and more. For tickets and more information, visit greatwesternsteamup.com.
With Nevada's only transplant center and verified burn center, the science is here. With award-winning cardiologist and the state's only dedicated heart failure clinic, the talent is here. With Nevada's most advanced robotic surgery, the technology is here. And with the Silver State's only designated pediatric trauma center, hope is here. All because we are here. UMC.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years.
Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always pleased to welcome back to the program Bruce Breslow. He is the founder and CEO of Nevada Strategies. Welcome back, sir.
Good to see you, Sam.
So you represent the Churchill County. And Fallon is located in Churchill County, for those of our friends in Southern Nevada who may not know where that is. But they may know more because of Top Gun, because that's a huge hit once again, and highlighting the Naval Air Station.
Yeah, it's an amazing Naval Air Station there. They also have 2 SEALs schools that are regular there. If people go to see the new movie, which is a great movie, by the way.
Great movie.
They make it look like it's still in San Diego when it moved
Right.
to Fallon like 25 years ago.
Right.
All of the flight scenes in the movie, you can see the sagebrush, the hills, you can see Lake Tahoe, the snow, the lake. Most of it was shot up here, except for a few scenes that made the audience think it was in San Diego. But the school is doing great, the fighter school. Top school in the world. They're expanding because of the new F-35 fighter, next generation aircraft. So they're adding 1,300 new jobs by the end of next year. And that's got the whole city of Fallon and the county. We've been scrambling for housing, and we've done fantastic on that.
Okay, let's go back to that in just a second. I just want to ask you just briefly about the lands bill, because didn't that get pushed back?
The lands bill, the Navy wants to expand so that because the new jets have to have a longer bombing run. They have to attack from further away and higher up. They've tried, I believe, for 4 years in a row to just do it themselves. And the Nevada congressional delegation has helped block it and said, work with the county, work with the city, because they're taking about 500,000 acres away from the community to do that. And so the community had a list of land that it would like that's part of the federally owned checkerboard that would help with economic development, hunting, mineral rights, things like that. So they've negotiated back and forth for 4 years, and we're hopeful again that there's an agreement coming in, before the end of this year on that lands bill.
Does Congressman Amadei's recent victory in the primary and likely victory in the general help in this? Because if the Republicans take control of the Congress, that would put him in more of a catbird seat.
Well, certainly it would help. But Catherine Masto has been fantastic as well. So the whole delegation's been behind this, and there's so many land spills trying to, we're running out of developable land for housing, and we're way behind in northern Nevada.
And that's actually true across the state. I mean, Southern Nevada is looking to expand as well. It's very interesting.
But they get their land spills. Northern Nevada has a lot more trouble.
I don't know. There's a big battle going on in Southern Nevada over this particular land spill. But it's been interesting watching Catherine Cortez Masto because she has gone all across deep red country in Nevada. And they have a lot of people saying she's doing great work out there. We're not necessarily going to vote for her, but we appreciate what she's doing. But then the mayor of Ely, as we were taping this just yesterday, came out in support of her. So an interesting plan there.
You can add me to that list too. And I'm a Republican, but I was there when Adam Laxalt was the AG, and I'm voting for Catherine Masto myself. She worked hard when she was AG.
All right, well, fair enough. So let's go back to housing and the community. So last time you were here, you were short a lot of housing. How much ground have you made up?
We've made up some. D.R. Horton became the first publicly traded home builder to ever build in the Fallon, and they have 2 different subdivisions under construction. Their housing there is about brand new homes for about $330,000, which is a couple $100,000 or more less than other areas in northern Nevada for the same house. We have a 420-unit apartment complex with a purchase and sale agreement approved by the county commission. That is going forward. And we have a townhome project of about 140 townhomes in the city of Fallon and a possible apartment project. That'll make a dent in it. But keep in mind, historically, Fallon has grown by 12 residences a year over the last 15, 20 years. And now, as Fernley expands, as Tricks sold out, as other things going and development moving east, there's no place to live. A quarter of the people that work at the base commute from a different county to get there. So housing is the top priority.
All right, but you lay out an interesting scenario, which is that it is possible to buy housing at, in quotes, affordable rates, even with the increase in interest rates, if you're looking a little bit further out than Reno Sparks.
Yeah, there's an old saying in real estate, drive till you can afford it.
Yeah,
so
that's a great line.
You can go to Fernley, and it's basically 28 minutes away. I can get to Fallon. I live in the end of the Mount Rose Highway where the new, connector road starts, right. Veterans Parkway, and I can get to Fallon in 1 hour, reasonably following the speed limits. Right. And of course, if you drive to Carson City, Fernley, or Fallon, you're saving quite a bit of money on buying gas in Washoe County because of the gas tax difference.
Right. So how many more homes do you need to make a serious dent in this?
According to a study we commissioned through the University of Nevada and Genia Lattimore's company, EK Economics, we need about 550 homes a year. And the local construction there was doing just a handful of homes, and they didn't have the capability to expand to the quantity that we needed. So other people are coming to fill in the gaps. Of course, as soon as the landowners there found out that there was a publicly traded home builder trying to buy land, prices, went doubled, and that made it very difficult. The price of equipment, materials, everything has gone up. I'm even hearing, not in Fallon, but in other communities where builders can't get garage doors, but the community is allowing people to still take possession of the house as long as they can lock the door between the garage and wait for the garage doors to come in because of the supply chain backup.
Yeah, I mean, this is just rippling all the way through every industry at this point in time. And, I went to Lazy Boy Furniture a few weeks ago looking at a couch, and they said, yeah, it's a great couch, you can have it in 7 months. Yeah. And it was like, really? And they're people who are buying homes that haven't been built yet are happy to buy furniture for the home that will probably match up the timeline there. But it is kind of crazy. Do you feel at some point in the future, and you can take the fifth on this one if you like, that you're going to see more land taking out of agricultural in the Fallon area and go to more residential?
There's plenty of land out there that you don't have to give up at all the agriculture nature of this community. And
not even for the water?
No, the county has enough water rights, the city has enough water rights. Some of the developers that have master plan communities on paper have water rights already. What the county and the city have to do is worry about supply. So the county's working on a new water treatment plant so that there's treated supply out there. And then they just opened this beautiful new Rafter 3C indoor arena, seats 7,000 for concerts, 2,000 for rodeos. In fact, they just had a rodeo last week there, PCRA event. That'll create some tourism, which will help fill more hotel rooms, which will cause more hotels to be built out there, but it's a gorgeous facility.
Yeah, no, and it's great, and that's a large facility. I mean, the outdoor venue at formerly John Swaga's Nugget is 9,000 people, and they're able to bring in top name acts. That's actually the second largest facility after Lawler in the area. So 7,000 is a pretty huge. I mean, you're going to have a lot of drive-in traffic because
it's like
there's
the
not
Orleans and South Point Arena has this beautiful rodeo set up there. So it's more like that in Southern Nevada, and it's built mostly for equestrian events, cattle events, farming events. But if you see people on the floor, you know, they take the dirt out and it's a concrete floor. You can get 7,000 people there for a concert. You can put in basketball events, even tease them with if they could do curling in there if they wanted to. And it's air conditioned. I mean, it's a gorgeous building.
And with the popularity of Yellowstone, the TV show, it seems like rodeo is coming back big time. The Reno Rodeo, which will have ended by the time we are airing this, was selling out every night.
It always does. And at the same time, there's events going on at the Churchill County Fairgrounds and other areas that are also doing rodeo events that are also selling out at the same time that the Reno Rodeo sells out. So it seems like that slice of Americana is still very much part of the heartland of America.
I would agree, and it, you know, I think at this point, after everybody going through COVID, we're reaching out for things that, you know, are family oriented, where we can go out as a group and, you know, go do the things that we did before. So maybe if you haven't been to a rodeo in several years, this was a good time to go to a rodeo.
Yeah.
All right, so the base, how many more people is it going to expand by? Because with the new fighter jets,
1,300 new jobs is what they announced. Now it could go.
Is that military personnel or just additional jobs?
Those are mostly support personnel to help with the aircraft. When a fighter wing comes in, you know, they get like 2,000 pilots. They're here for 6 to 8 weeks. They have what equates to the second largest hotel in the state of Nevada on that base.
Right.
And they come in, cycle through, and then they take off and they fly directly to an aircraft carrier. That's their final stop before aircraft carrier. But the rest of the personnel is you know, working pretty much all the time, and that's the employee base that I'm talking about.
All right. Is there any discussion, and this is from a personal point of view, of having an air show out at Fallon again? Because those were fabulous.
You know, there's a brand new skipper at the air base, living 2 houses down from where his old house used to be when he was stationed there many, many years ago. And I'll have to bring that up. That'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, those were fabulous.
Yeah.
And we, you know, back in those days, we were able to get, you know, press passes to be on the line there and stay overnight in the bachelor officer quarters. It was quite a party.
Well, maybe you did.
Well, we had connections. Let's take a break. Come back more with Bruce Breslow after this timeout.
Meantime, here in Nevada, we appear to have one of the highest inflation rates in the country.
Soaring prices for gas, food, housing, and construction supplies continue to hammer Nevadans.
Senator Catherine Cortez Masto was the deciding vote for President Biden's multi-trillion-dollar spending spree, sending inflation through the roof and raising gas and grocery prices over 8% on hardworking Nevadans. Tell Senator Cortez Masto to stop voting for reckless spending and start fighting inflation.
Ahern Rentals began as Signal Gas Station on Las Vegas Boulevard. Founder John Ahern grew the business by offering rentals. His son Don built on John's legacy, growing Ahern Rentals into the largest independently owned American rental company, with 89 locations in 30 states. Don also brought his experience and vision to equipment manufacturing with Extreme Manufacturing and Snorkel. Today, Ahern Rentals continues to bring its family values to a new generation. Learn more at ahern.com.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com. I'm here at the Carson Valley Inn in Minden with Joey Whitaker. Entertainment here at the Carson Valley Inn is extraordinary.
Yeah, super proud of the TJ's Corral, our outdoor venue, about 1,500 seats. We've had first-class entertainment out there. We've had Merle Haggard, we've had Chris Young, we've had Lee Brice a couple times, we've had Pat Benatar, Joan Jett, who's in the Hall of Fame. We're real proud out there, and it's just a great time. Watch CarsonValleyInn.com. and grab those tickets early. It's not a long way to get away to the Carson Valley Inn.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, talking with Bruce Breslow. He's the founder and CEO of Nevada Strategies. He and I have been friends going way, way, way back to the late 1970s when you first moved to Nevada and I first moved to Nevada.
You had a big fro.
Yes, I did.
And I had a lot more hair too.
Yes, we had totally different lives back then. And then, you were already in broadcasting, but I got in there. Let's talk about some other things in the county. For a lot of people who've traveled across rural Nevada, Hazen was just a sign on the road. Mm-hmm. That is no longer the case, right?
Well, it's still a sign and the coolest old general store that's used in like movie sets and things. But there are 3 industrial development projects going on in Hazen, it's completely separate. One is owned by Industrial Realty Group, and that's a rail project by itself. And freight's coming in there, they've lengthened the tracks and they're going gangbusters. The other is the Churchill Hazen Industrial Park, which was owned by Tim Tucker, who has passed. Now it's owned by his estate. Also has rail, has plenty of water rights, and right now we've got 5 businesses looking at that. And then there's another 3,400 acres that is in both Churchill County and Lyon County called the Renewable Energy Park, and that ownership appears to have changed hands because the new people that said that they now own it, they have grand plans for that as well, which would bring the infrastructure, they would extend it from Fernley out to that area. That would be the new area for industrial development because, Tahoe Reno Industrial Center sold out. Michael Dermody's pretty much used up all the land that was available here for now until a lands bill helps, Washington County. But for Southern Nevada, I'll let you know, it's about 30,000 acres of land. It's flat and all of it has rail through it. So it's a matter of getting the infrastructure in there, and you need one big user to be able to do that.
Okay, and this is the Tucker property?
That's all 3.
Oh, that's all 3. So when you say major infrastructure, give me for example.
You're going to need a water treatment plant. There's groundwater, but you've got to treat it because all groundwater in Nevada has something wrong with it.
Yeah, mostly arsenic.
Yes. It didn't used to be, didn't used to trigger it, but the new EPA rules, it does, so you need to treat it. And you're right, it's basically arsenic. It's a tiny bit of arsenic, but you wouldn't want it in your tea.
Yes,
so.
Yeah, it probably will kill you. It's kind of interesting. Over the years, I thought that growth would be slowed, like in the Reno area, because of air quality. Mm-hmm. But Washoe County fixed the air quality issues, and it's the sewer treatment plant that's the big issue as far as growth goes. And now you're talking about, treating water. So it's water and all the things that go along with it.
Yeah, it's interesting. The federal government set aside, $1 trillion for infrastructure projects, but they put so many strings attached and so many rules that the rural communities, that if they had the infrastructure, businesses would definitely be there. They can't get access to that money because of the way the EDA has set up the loan program and the grant program. You already have to have a user signed on that's willing to say, I'm going to build this project and I'm going to hire X number of employees at X number of salary before you can even apply for a grant to start a project, let alone build out a community.
Listen,
like
that sounds
the Normans
like,
did.
That sounds like immigration, you know, where somebody has to have a job, you know, back and be back in their own country, and then wait 10 years to potentially be able to get back here. And please God, that job would still be there, which of course it wouldn't be. So the big lesson for me from TRI, and you just kind of touched on it briefly there, was that they put all the infrastructure in first, and that allowed them to bring people in and say, okay, it's all here, here's the grading permit, boom, get moving. Is that going to be the situation you're looking at?
No. There's only one Roger Norman in northern Nevada that had the money to do that. And first they built the project in South Reno where IGT's corporate headquarters was for all those years, which allowed them to move forward, and they got that land on a great deal, 100,000 acres. And by selling 58,000 of blockchains at the end, that's technically sold out, although there's some landholders that, you know, will sell there. No, it's going to take a big user to come in. Nevada Energy won't extend lines until they have a user. The gas company's not going to put a new pipeline until they have a user.
So is this another Apex, or is the fact that it's owned by one group make that easier? Whereas
well,
Apex
it's owned by 3 different groups, but they're very active, and some of them have access to capital, and you have a willing community. So it's similar to Apex, but I think it will, out of necessity, it will blossom.
All right, let's take another quick break. We'll be right back.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Events Center in Las Vegas. Host meetings and events on 2 floors. Stay in luxurious rooms and suites. Unlimited branding opportunities. Regional Italian cuisine by Chef Mark Segrisi. Flexible event spaces. Full buyout options. Visit ahernhotel.com today.
Everyone is talking about opioids, but they're not the only drugs that can be harmful if taken in large quantities or not as prescribed. You also need to be aware of side effects from anxiety drugs, muscle relaxants, sleep aids, and stimulants. Mixing prescription drugs with other drugs or alcohol can be dangerous. If you take an Ambien with a glass of wine, it may be enough to stop you from breathing. Prescribed drugs can be just as dangerous as illegal drugs. Take medications only as directed.
Hi, I'm Renee Summer, our digital news anchor here at 7 at 7. Watch our streaming nonstop newscast immediately with your mobile phone. 7 at 7 is the new way for you to get every bit of local news you need in just 7 minutes. Breaking news, local neighborhood news, weather, and sports are just a click away. Reporters bring you all of what's happening in the Valley. From Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, YouTube, and more. Get every bit of local news you need from the RJ and LVRJ.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Bruce Breslow. He's the founder and CEO of Nevada Strategies. We're talking about the potential for 3 business parks in Churchill County. You said out of necessity, this project will blossom. What did you mean by that? Because that's a great phrase.
Well, there are companies that must leave California. They've been directed, they haven't announced it yet, but they're leaving California. They're either going to go to Texas, Nevada, or Arizona because of the tax structure. We're going to get our chunk of them in southern Nevada, and we're going to get a chunk of them in northern Nevada. There's not much industrial land that they can go on that has rail access, that has power corridors, that has fiber lines going through it, things like that, which the Highway 50 corridor does. it will take a large user. You know, NV Energy right now has almost a 3-year backlog to get a transformer. So, you know, it's a tough time because of the supply chain, but companies have to come here because they're not going to stay in California. And Nevada and Hazen is sitting in the right place at the right time.
Does this, you know, in your opinion, to a degree, make Nevada less likely to have a recession?
Well, there's a microeconomic climate in northern Nevada, for sure. Southern Nevada is growing and continues to grow and always will grow, and the numbers there are so much larger than in northern Nevada. But my expertise is northern Nevada, and I will tell you that there's so many companies that EDON announced that since we don't have housing, they're not like publicizing it as much anymore because I don't want to be slapped around for bringing, you know, Californians here. But they've signed, and those companies are coming, and they need places to live, and they need ground to build on. So
it's going to be interesting times to make this balance work. Always a pleasure, my friend, to see you. Thanks for being here, and we'll be right back.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
With Nevada's only transplant center and verified burn center, the science is here. With award-winning cardiologist and the state's only dedicated heart failure clinic, the talent is here. With Nevada's most advanced robotic surgery, the technology is here. And with the Silver State's only designated pediatric trauma center, hope is here. All because we are here. UMC.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday, trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
Nevada Newsmakers Studio is located at the headquarters of the Nevada Trucking Association. Motion and purpose are a truck's greatest virtue.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at nevadanewsmakers.com. You can also check our archive going back to 2005 on our website. Again, nevadanewsmakers.com. We'll see you on the next show.